and ask you to speak on something that you guys basically, as a leader, I found myself in a really bad position and knew that things were not going to be sustainable, but it was the thing that I could do to propel me into where we are today, where we're growing today. Also, who put me after Connie Sanchez? Give it up for Connie Sanchez. That was so good. She is so gifted at really what matters. And people matter in this business. So, REV, I love you. I've got some notes. We'll keep this short and sweet. And I pray that this will bless your business and just give you maybe a spark that I needed. And I hope it encourages you guys. So, I'm going to title this training Back to Basics. And apologies if you're on my team and you're there. And if you've heard this story before, I kind of put a little bit of extra spin on it so it's not a repeat for you. But guys, the first 3 years, so I've been in Monate for the past 6 years. The first 3 years of my business, I, as a lot of people have, experienced hypergrowth. I'm talking, I had my blinders on. It did not matter what was going on in the outside world. I was going to do whatever it would take to help myself and my entire organization win and get to the top. Nothing else mattered, right? Now, during these 3 years, there were massive highs, okay, like celebrations out the wazoo, going to all the places, doing things, Cadillacs popping, all of that. And then there were some major lows, like Connie was talking about, crying to her husband, like, everything's falling apart, and oh my goodness, right? But thankful for find a good mentor, right? Find that person that's going to pick you back up. But one thing that remains true today and still remains true to this day is not about everything in life that's worthwhile is going to be hard, right? No business does this forever. We're always going to have those highs and lows, and quitting is never an option. During those first 3 years, I think we have to be honest with ourselves. And sometimes you can be a leader and you can do this business for a long time, and you can just like start to become casual and not really portray what it took you to get to MMP, MMB, MM, wherever you are. We have to be honest with ourselves because this business is simple, yet it's not easy, right? So during those times, sacrifices were made, right? Missing out on some ball games, missing out on some family time, missing out on birthday parties, right? Sacrifices were made for the season, and that's okay. There was those late nights. Julie Steven talked about the magic of month end. Sharing Monate unapologetically. There are so many people inside this organization that I can just say they are unapologetic about Monate. Going all in, putting your feet on the ground means being unapologetic about the business and about the product. Team events, trips, right? Getting your people together. All of these sacrifices, creating trainings, doing whatever it could take to get yourself and get your team creating that momentum. And again, I think we need to be honest with our teams that money doesn't fly through the window. And people aren't going to always just jump in the boat and it's going to be easy. It takes that groundwork. It takes those blinders to be put on. It takes a hustle where you are not listening to the outside world and you have that vision that Connie talked about and you're running for that. So my year 3, this is where I fell flat on my face. And this horrible action took about a year for me to really be slapped in the forehead with a 2x4 to realize I'm making a detrimental mistake. And that was by year 3, that entire year, became complacent. Okay, complacent as in I've worked really hard, maybe you've gotten in the car, maybe you get in a D, maybe you get corrected, whatever it is. And things are a little bit easy and you just start to become complacent. When you become complacent, you start sharing passion. And you're just, your funds are coming in, you're just coming it's just fun. 99% of my focus during this 1 year, my focus shifted into training and how I can help my team and what Zoom did somebody need me on. And what graphics can I make and how can I help train the existing organization. which led to very minimal recruiting. And that's not a place that you want to be in. Take it from me. Because when there is very minimal recruiting, then we start to feel discouraged. Why? Because this business, like Connie said, isn't about you. It's about other people. So when we stop helping people have amazing hair, when we stop offering this business unapologetically, right? When we stop that, we start losing our fire, we start losing our focus, we start getting discouraged because I'm not getting any emails. Congratulations, your business is growing. Good news travels fast. When those stop coming in, then what happens? Then it's like, oh, how does Sarah Hill just keep doing it? How does Connie just keep doing it? What is Julie doing? Oh, right. And then we start to have this discouragement. But in all reality, I put myself in that position by taking my eyes off the basics and by over managing and doing that for a year, that most people would look at this organization that I had and be so proud. But at the end of the day, I knew that if I continued to let this go on, it wasn't going to be sustainable. So sometimes we have to take a hard look in the mirror. And I was to the point where I was like, God, you got to help me because, I'm a little tired and this isn't really fun anymore. And then I took a long, hard look in the mirror and said, Amy, who are your new VIPs? You don't have any? Okay. Who's all your new market partners? No, you haven't recruited any of those either. Maybe a handful in this entire year. And you're waiting for momentum to happen. Oh, how about who's your up and coming leaders? Rock star? Who's your up and coming leader? I don't have any of those either. Like I had to look at reality and like Connie said, not blame this or blame that and realize this is all falling back on me. No wonder my joy is gone. No wonder I'm discouraged. I've taken my eyes off of the basics. And so I want you guys to kind of ponder on these thoughts and see if you can relate to any of them. All right. Because if you haven't, or maybe eventually you will. And these were the feelings that I had that propelled me into getting my hiney in gear. Also, everybody dressed up really nice for this event, and I'm wearing spandex and a sweatshirt. Sorry, Aaron. Anyway, so ponder on some of these thoughts. My business has stalled. Have you said this? My business has stalled. I was like, okay, things went like, right? My current runners aren't growing. Oh, this doesn't feel good. A little nauseous on that one. No one seems to be on fire. How do we get that back? And I'm not super proud of my personal business. All of these thoughts is exactly what brought me to this breaking moment, right? Of like, something is wrong. And instead of doing this, I looked at me and God so clearly said, start your business over, right? So at this point, if we're having all of these thoughts, we have two options. Option one, I've seen it. Make excuses. Start blaming. Oh, like Connie said, leaders are repeaters and we're all kind of chatting about the same thing. But guys, make excuses. My downline's not working anymore. This person quit. Moan ate this. Oh, nobody cares, right? That's going to get us nowhere. And excuses are just, woo, right? Goodness. Or we have the option to make changes, right? Really look in the mirror, really ask ourselves those questions. Are these some of my thoughts? And what can I do to save this? How can I change? If I've done this before, how can I do it again? So number one, it's going to start with your mindset. Okay. And I literally went to bed after I had this like epiphany. I literally went to bed and it was, I think it was in 2021, 22, 23. I don't know. It's been almost 3 years. We're going to get to that in a second, but I literally went to bed and thought, okay, September 1st is in 2 days. I'm going to treat September as I just click join now. My product pack is going to be here. Okay. I am brand spanking new. You have to put yourself back into that mindset. Because if you don't, then you're over here in your complacent casual mindset where, I mean, like whatever happens, I'm still going to get a paycheck and I'm just thankful for all the things. If I want things to grow, I have to put myself back in that mindset so I can get that momentum, so I can have that fire to get things going again. So treat this when you decide, my office is a mess. I just realized that I'm covering it. When you decide I'm going to start over, you have to put yourself in that mindset of I am brand new, June or July or whenever. This is day one. Okay, so mindset is so important. Do not waver from self-development. Stay close to the fire. You are a brand new SED. You are, scratch that. You were AED, MMB, scratch it all. You're brand new starting tomorrow, right? And then set a goal and by George, stick to the goal. Where there is a will, there is a way. And I have got to make this happen. You know what I like to pretend to do sometimes? What if I didn't reach this goal? Everything would be taken from me, right? Just like when I thought, if I joined this business 6 years ago and I make it work, this might change my family's life forever. So, and then other people. So I have got to set a goal and stick to it. I set a very high goal for that very first month of starting over. I still have an existing business, but I'm brand new and I'm going to set a high goal. Dang it, Amy, why did you do that? MMB, I have to recreate, become a brand new MMB in a month and create a Mo neighborhood. You guys, that was a really high goal, but I realized I did that 6 years ago. So why can I not do it again? It is possible when your blinders are on, when you are focused on the basics, when you have that mindset, anything is possible. So MMB and Mo Neighborhood was the goal. And I knew that if that was achieved, and that is something that you can do as leaders in this room, recruit 4 market partners and help 2 of them get to MMP. Yes, you can do that, right? Finding 12 customers, there's no way. Yes, there is a way when you're desperate for that. And I knew by doing that, that was going to create the momentum needed that we all need to be able to propel ourselves into this starting over phase. Okay. So something very important that I did. So my mindset was there. All right, I'm new. Here we go. Then I set a goal. Fine, sleep until it's done. Uh-oh. I got 3 new market partners, right? And we all have chats. There's a bajillion chats out there. Okay, I want these people to feel special. So I started a brand new chat and I've called it my GV chat. It's called Running with Momentum or whatever, but in my head, it's my GV chat. This is my new team. I'm starting over. This is my new team. What is the purpose of this chat? This is a place for them to feel seen, to be recognized, and to feel appreciated. Just had an eyelash stick. And to feel appreciated. You know, think about when you joined. You know, and there for that 1 year that I was real complacent and I was getting my handful of market partners and then just dumping them into the sea of the big team chats where they're not going to get recognized, where they don't know what's going on. They don't feel valued. They don't feel recognized. They don't feel seen. At the end of the day, this business is about people. People overpay, like Connie just said. They need to feel that. So starting that GV chat. And I pretended that this GV chat was my brand new team, which meant I have to wake them up daily, right? I'm on fire. So I'm going to wake them up with encouragement, letting them know if there's a sale, giving them graphics, putting little videos in there, whatever it takes, so they can see I am here. They personally enrolled with me, but this is also a place for you, for your new market partners as you're growing them, trying to hit MMB again. They can add their new market partners, and you know you're going to be able to have that strong relationship with your new team as they feel appreciated in this chat. Okay, doing weekly or monthly recognition for them. So you've got your organization already, but let's recognize inside of this chat, whether it's a first post, whether it's a coffee date, whether it's a new VIP, a new market partner, highest PV, GV, best spirit award, whatever. Recognize your new people on their accomplishments. Meet via Zoom once a week. Okay, so it becomes, as you all know, when you have a global team or you have a team all over the US or wherever your team is, we have all of the Zoom calls and big trainings and things like this, right? Where the new people they maybe don't know the basics that you know so well. You know how to build a block. You know how to do these things. Your new people do not know that, right? And we as leaders, well, really me, I'm not going to say we, because, I'm putting this on myself, but I got so casual when it came to like new market partners joining, like I had to figure it out, right? That's not the right attitude to have, right? Like Julie said, you've got to nurture them and cater to them until they're going to take off. And so by meeting once a week for 20 minutes, right? And the things that I go over in these meetings are how to recruit market partners, how to recruit VIPs, what does it look like to get a block, how much do you get paid when you get a block, and how do you get MMP and encouragement. And it's all of those things on a literal repeat Monday nights at 8 o'clock for 20 minutes. Guess what? I know that if new market partners are joining my level 1s and level 2s, guess what? There is always a place for the new people to learn the basics. Not throw a video, a training video at them, not throw things that are like, hey, we did this 4 years ago, watch this video and fly, right? Look at their faces, create those relationships with them. And you guys, one thing I want to say is give it time. I've tried, I've given these GV chat deals, and I've seen people, it radically changes their business. And then others, you'll check in 90 days later and they go, oh yeah, I did those GV calls, and only like 2 or 3 people showed up, so I just stopped doing them. So you quit again. Your trust is so important, is going to be built by you showing up regardless of who's on the call, regardless of how many people show up, because with time, with the right intentions, that GV chat, that your group is going to grow. So we are leading by example. Okay. This is another thing that I'm like, remember for that 1 year that I was like, okay, who needs me for a training call? How can I help here? How can I do this? And then I stopped recruiting, right? So we have to lead by example. Like my team, like, where's the fire gone? Well, I had to take all the fingers and point them back here and realize I'm not recruiting VIPs. I'm not recruiting market partners. And so I have to lead by example. Remember this, what you talk about comes about, right? So while working on your social media, while being in person with anybody, if your mouth is moving, what we are talking about is what's going to come about. So if we're talking all things hair and skin and before and afters and pictures and all the things, we're going to have a lot of VIPs. If market partners are like a struggle, then that's when we need to shift over to talking more about the business and sharing all of those aspects. So we'll touch on social media for just a second, guys. Yes, I said social media. I'm very thankful for social media. This is a free platform that all of us are using and are able to use. And I have realized now more than ever, especially just coming back from Canada, and I was talking to Stuart and I realized, my eyes were so small, even 6 years in. There is so much opportunity out there, especially if we utilize social media. But the problem is we care too much about how we look. We care about what people think. We care about that we're going to be annoying. We care about, do I have to even just do the blah, 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 blah. If we're gonna soak in social media, if we're gonna have it on our phones, we might as well use it to the benefit of our business, right? So as far as social media, as far as starting over, when there wasn't a rise, when I'm waiting for the fire to happen again, I have to lead by example. So through that, utilizing in-person and social media, educating daily. You guys, how do you build trust with your followers? When you quit and stop talking about things? Been there, done that, hard to come out of. How do I build trust with them? I've got to educate my network of people on the products that I'm using and sharing, and not expect a graphic to do the selling, right? Make your reels of before and afters. If there's anything that I've seen be a big help, and I know within a couple of years this is going to change because the world's changing real fast, but video marketing, reels, using other people's your before and afters is very beneficial for growing through social media, because we have the winning lottery ticket in a product that outperforms anything on the planet. And when people see our before and afters, they're going to have questions. So don't worry about what people think. Post the before and afters as much as you want. Always showing your face. As far as the business, talking about, we can't make income claims, but we can talk about what it takes to build a block and the factual parts of the compensation plan. And we can share all aspects of this business. Basically, you are proving to your network of people who are watching that you back these products, that they are the best thing on the planet, and that this business works, this culture is amazing, and that done on a consistent basis and a persistent basis is going to gain the trust of your network. And you have to give it time and not do it for 3 months and go, nobody bought, right? Like, it's not working. No, it's going to work when we stay on top of that. Guess what happens when you commit to starting over, when you've got the right mindset, and when you're leading by example and saying, all right, I got to show up. I'm back to the basics. I got to build in my neighborhood and get to MMB. So I've got to train. I got to talk about all of these things on my social media. I'm going to talk about the products. I'm going to talk about the business. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about that over and over on repeat. And not like a crazy person, you guys. This can literally take 15 minutes a day, right? But guess what happens when your entire team and GV sees you showing up like this? Guess what happens, right? And we're like, oh, I don't have any fire. I don't understand what's happening. And then instead of trying to fix it all, you go, oop, right here, I'm going to show up and I'm going to go back to the basics. Your entire team see you leading by example, and that is building trust. And then you are training them by default. Right? You got those new market partners in the business who don't know much about the products, or they don't know much about the comp plan, or they don't know much about even the business, but you're influencing them. You're their leader. You're who they said yes to. And they see you online talking about dry shampoo, talking about blocks, talking about restore leave-in, talking about all the things. You're training them. You're giving them the confidence that they need to show up, right? So meanwhile, you're gaining trust of your network, and you're also training and encouraging and being an incredible influence to your downline that through this, it's going to work. And then the ones who want it in your existing team will catch that fire, and they're going to follow suit. So you guys, we're going to have seasons of highs and lows in this business. It doesn't matter what business you're in. We're going to have those wins. We're going to have a review weekend where we're like, yes, I'm on fire, right? And then 2 weeks later, we can be completely like, I don't even know what's going on, right? So that's why mindset is so important. And then also understanding, I can sit here and say, build blocks and put a GD group together and have all the little things like figured out in our heads, right? But the reality is, please know that this is going to take time. It might take 10 times longer than the first time when you join the business. And that's okay, because ultimately these things are going to work. I was thinking about my numbers and how embarrassing like some of them are, and thinking about at the beginning and the first 3 years of my business where my personal volume was anywhere from 1,500 at SED, at like 1,500 to 2,000. I was basically just trying to get Vegas every single year. Okay. And now through starting over, through leading by example, through putting my blinders back on, where there's a will, there's a way, competing with my own personal volume every single month, helping train my newbies, and being surrounded by the focus of basics. Now my personal volume 3 years later is over 30,000 every single month. What is even happening, right? That's like craziness in my 3 years ago mindset. That's not that. How does she even do that, right? But to know that through your consistency, you guys, and staying focused on the basics, it is going to grow. Also, what was really embarrassing is as an SED 3 years ago, being real complacent, my GV, your GV is your personal business and your people. We know this outside of MMB was barely squeaking over 7,000. Oh my goodness. Like, I got to get my 7,000 so I can re-rank and do all of that. Amy, that means you don't have a growing business. So being back to the basics, being hyper-focused on what matters. People matter. Having people hear about this business through your heart, in person, on social media. Don't worry about when they're clicking join now. Worry about sharing the message. Worry about sharing the business. The right people will find you. And by doing that and keeping your eyes focused, and stop worrying about the opinions of other people, because they don't matter, or what she's doing in the business and how amazing she is and all the things. Learn from others, but be focused on that. And 3 years of being focused on that GV from 7,000 is now over 80,000, right? And that is a strong working group of people who I am forever thankful for and am excited to see where their business is going to grow. In closing, my 5-year plan, and I just encourage you guys to set a plan. If this is something that was meaningful to you, then set a plan, right? And if not, that's okay. It was just my fall flat on my face moment that really needed to get me back in gear. But my plan was, we have to have the monthly, right? MMB and Mo Neighborhood and blah, blah, blah. But I literally thought to myself, if I can recreate hitting SED in 5 years, I'll be forever grateful, right? In 5 years, let's shoot for it in 5 years. And I can tell you, I'm only 3 years into starting over, and finally hit Triple M. And I think, wow, okay, I got 2 years left. It's going to happen. And just having those short-term goals and having those long-term goals, because is anyone else in here for the long haul? I should have worn my Monet Lifer shirt. Like, it means so much to me, because at the end of the day, you guys, we have so much influence. And even if people are like, but I have 100 followers, or I'm new, or I don't know. God created you special, and he put this business in your lap for a reason. And you are an influence in your home. You are an influence to your family. You are an influence to the network of your people. You are going to have hard times. We are going to have to dig deep and get stronger in those areas that we're afraid to hit the live button, or we're afraid to host an event, or we're afraid to do those things. But when we know those things are working, when we see others who have gone before us, who are building strong organizations, and those are working, work hard to get outside of your comfort zone, and know, you guys, that this is going to take time. Make sure you unfollow things that don't bring you joy. Like Connie said, stay surrounded by those who are on fire, who have the same goals and have the same visions as you do. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You don't want to be the one that knows it all. You want to be the one that is absorbing as much as you can from other people. Lead by example. And I'm going to leave you guys with my favorite verse, and that's Galatians 6:9. And that is, and let us not grow weary. Let us not grow weary while doing good. For in due season, we shall reap if we do not lose heart. I love you guys so much. Have so much fun. And somebody pick my name on that wheel. Love you.